Welcome to the Judges Briefing for AIDPSC Coordinate Debating. Debating is all about who is the best advocate. In AIDPSC, we use a form of secret topic coordinate parliamentary debating, which will be different from what students are used to in their state competitions. Speakers will be paired randomly with a student from a different school for this event. And in this event, speakers are judged individually. There is no winning team, and you are creating a ranking of all the speakers that you see across 2 debates, and using your scores to reflect this. Now, every state has their own rules regarding debating. These must be left aside. There is one question that you are asking here. Has the approach taken by the speaker made them a more persuasive advocate? During this style of debate, speakers have the opportunity to ask points of information during an opponent's speech. A point of information is a single question, no more than 15 seconds long. To raise a point of information, a debater stands during an opponent's speech and says point of information or on that point. The person speaking then has the option to accept the point by saying yes, accepting it but not right away by saying in a moment, or declining it by saying no thank you, or waving the person who asked the point down. If the point is accepted, the question can then be asked, and the questioner sits down. The speaker must then respond to the question as they see fit. Note that the point of information must be a question. There has to be something for the speaker to respond to. This is also not a conversation. The person who asked the point cannot then continue to ask follow-up questions. Points of information demonstrate continued engagement with the debate and refutation on behalf of the questioner. They also show agility of thought and engagement with the clash of the debate on behalf of the speaker. There are no set rules around how many points should be offered or accepted. As a very general indication, each speaker should offer at least 2 points during an opposition speech, and the speaker should accept at least 1 or 2 during their speech. If no points are offered, a speaker should not be penalised for not responding to any. However, it should be noted if a speaker does not offer any points. Speakers should not be badgered with points. Points should be offered no more frequently than every 20 or 30 seconds, so that they don't unnecessarily interrupt the person speaking. There is protected time during each speech when points cannot be offered. Points of information cannot be offered during the first minute or last minute of the first 4 speeches during the debate. Points of information also cannot be offered at any point during the final 2 speeches in the debate. These are called the reply speeches. The criteria for debating is as follows. Firstly, analysis and organisation. Note that there is no strict rules around how speakers need to organise their speech, so judge based upon whether or not their approach is effective. Secondly, logic and evidence. Note that these are secret topic debates, so students will not have any opportunity to research these issues. Thirdly, teamwork. There should be evidence that the speakers have worked together to present their points. However, note that you are still judging each speaker separately. Fourthly, clash and refutation. Speakers should be dynamic, adjusting and adapting to the flow of the debate. Clash refers to the ability to hit the core issues that are in contention, based on how important they become over the course of the speeches. Refutation is the ability to respond to what the other team is saying, to be able to rebut their arguments. Finally, there is delivery. One way to think about judging this task is that you are on trial for a murder, and the only person who can speak to defend you is one of these speakers. Which of them do you feel would be the best advocate for you? Again, at 60, the student stands up, at 65, they make a noise, and at 70, they've presented a speech. A score of 70 to 74 would be a weak speech. The court was going to give you life in prison, but this speaker has just convinced them to bring back the firing squad. A score of 75 to 79 indicates an adequate speech. Anything short of a watertight alibi and you will be going to jail. Even though you're innocent, you're going to be squirming. A score of 80 to 84 indicates a good speech. You may do some time, but this is the kind of person who'll be able to get at least some of the charges downgraded. A score of 85 to 89 indicates a very good speech. If the prosecution's evidence isn't ironclad, then this advocate will see you set free with a very solid defense. At 90 to 95, we're talking about an excellent and exceptional speech. The prosecutor could have your fingerprints on the murder weapon and a confession, and you will still go free if this person is defending you. Some things to remember here is that the scoring range is not the same used by local competitions. If you have judged in a local debating competition in your state, please put this aside. You must score based on our competition's criteria and without any preference for any specific style. Note that you are not determining a winning team in the debate, and there is to be no announcement of which team won the debate at the end of the debate. You are ranking the speakers by who was the best advocate for their cause. Note that you will most likely see 2 debates back to back on different topics. Please reserve submitting your scores until you've heard both debates so that you can make adjustments accordingly. Finally, your judging will emphasize clash, spontaneity, logic, wit, content, and teamwork. There is no minimum speaking time in this debate. There is a 30-second grace period for every speaker above their maximum time limit. However, you should disregard anything that exceeds this. The speaking times and speaking order for this type of debate are currently presented on screen. In AIDPSC, each speaker has the equivalent of 9 minutes speaking time. The first speaker also presents a reply speech at the end. They get 6 minutes for their first speech and 3 minutes for their reply speech, totaling 9 minutes. The second speaker gets their 9 minutes all at once. The format and criteria remain the same for Speakfest, with the difference being that their speaking times amount to 6 minutes instead of 9.